Hello, I'm Caro Soles, and I'm here today to talk to you about my new book, Dancing with Chairs in the Music House. It is, I suppose all authors will say that their latest book is their favorite, but anyway, I'm particularly fond of this book because it is quite autobiographical. I lived in the house for a brief time. I knew the people there. I was a child wandering around, poking my nose into things and being probably quite obnoxious from time to time. Anyway, our heroine is Vanessa, and she is alone a lot left in this rooming house because her father is sick and her mother has to work a lot. So this is a little bit about what Vanessa gets up to and what she is like, and I hope you enjoy it. When Mother goes to visit Daddy in Sunnybrook Hospital, I am left with a page of math problems to figure out. Numbers confuse me. They make no sense. Everyone's tried to help, to show me how simple it is, but each one seems to make it just that much worse. Daddy's the worst of all because he does the sums and problems differently from Jonathan or Mother. And everybody seems to have it very differently from the way that it is in the math books, which I have. This is the sort of thing that I have problems with. If I am on a train, and the train is leaving the station at 9 a.m., traveling at 60 miles an hour, etc., etc., etc. Well, when I read this, I am on the train. I feel it sway. I see the telephone poles lift and dip outside the windows, the way they do when I go down to New Brunswick to visit Grammy. But by this time, I've lost track of how fast the train is going, or when it gets to the other station. In my experience, trains are never on time anyway, so what's the point? And what is a number anyway? I make a guess at the answers and then I go downstairs with my skipping rope. Patricia is spread out on a lawn chair. She is wearing yet another dress with ankle socks and Mary Jane's, and a gold bracelet gleams on her arm. It looks too expensive to wear out in the garden. She has sunglasses on and is reading a magazine. I stand looking at her for a moment. She knows I'm there, but she doesn't pay any attention or glance up. Do you want to play skipping? I ask, desperate for company. She shakes her head. Her mother comes out and beats a rug vigorously against the wall. I move out of the way of the clouds of dust. She looks at me, then away without saying a word. I don't say anything either. I go over and sit on the grass. You shouldn't sit on the grass. It's damp, she says, looking at me. I shrug. It seems perfectly fine to me. Shows what you know. She opens the magazine again. Now that I'm closer, I can see the bracelet she's wearing more clearly. It's gold, and dangling from it is a golden charm of a swan with a diamond eye. I stare at it, not believing what I see. What are you staring at? She asks. A thief, I say inside my head. Out loud, I say, your bracelet. Where did you get it? Mom gave it to me. She looks at it with pleasure. I don't say anything. Is her mother the thief? But perhaps the box I saw down in the cellar belongs to the O'Malleys after all. Have I made a mistake? The feeling remains, the certainty that it's not hers would not be something chosen by her mother and doesn't fit somehow. But there's nothing I can say without giving myself away in the fact that I've been nosing around in the basement. So what's it like being adopted? Patricia asks, putting down the magazine. It's like being special, I say, feeling a slight jolt. I think of the story Mother often tells me about the day she first saw me and knew I was the one, the special one. Patricia laughs. Your real mom didn't want you. What's so special about that? At least she didn't leave me all alone to roll into scalding water. I'm not the one scarred to life by my mother. She stares at me open-mouthed, color staining her round face like dye spreading through water. I can't believe I just said these things. I should say I'm sorry, but I can't bring myself to say anything. I sit very quiet and watch as she hauls herself to her feet, gathers her magazine and sunglasses and hat, and turns away. As she gets near the back door, she begins to run. I want to cry. I know I've been cruel. I don't know why I hated her so much at that moment, wanted to slash at her so hard. But now I'm scared. Her mother will rush out and scream at me, maybe. She might force Rona Lane to make us move away from the music house. After all, she made us pay key money just to see the rooms we rent. even though the place was already promised to us. She might do anything. Mother says she is completely unpredictable. I grab my skipping rope and run upstairs and hide in the everything room until I hear Mother coming up the hall. Seems like hours, but I know it isn't. "What are you doing in here?" she says, looking at me keenly. "You look a bit peaked. Have you been inside all this time?" "Oh, no, I was skipping for a while." Mother changes into her skirt and blouse. "Why don't you collect the small bits of soap from around the basin in there and put them in the soap jar, and then bring them into the kitchen?" "Oh, are we going to make oatmeal soap?" "That's right, and you can make animal shapes out of some of them. How's that sound?" "Good," I say. "Salubrious." Mother laughs. "Not exactly," she says, and tells me to go look the word up in the dictionary. I feel happy and safe with Mother, standing beside her in the tiny kitchen a few minutes later while she cooks the soap and some other things in our largest pot. She cools it and adds the oatmeal at the end, and then I get to squish it with my fingers and squeeze it into shapes. This is the best part. I make teddy bears and dogs and some turtles mostly, but the bears are the easiest. Mother says she'll take my best teddy bear to Daddy tomorrow so he can have his own soap and think of me when he washes his hands. Oatmeal's good for the skin, and I like that idea. We pour the sticky mess out on cookie sheets and take them into the living room to work on. Mother just makes hers into boring bars, but I like to be more fanciful and creative. "Don't waste any," Mother warns. "Gather up the fragments that nothing be lost. When we're finished, I'll check your homework." Oh, I decide to take as much time as possible with my soap shaping, and am busy doing a teddy bear when there's a knock at the door. Mother looks startled. We rarely have unexpected visitors. She dusts her hands off with a small towel we use when we make soap and goes to the door. "Yes," she says, looking at the man in the brown hat who stands there. He carries a briefcase, but a small one, not like the Fuller Brushman's. "How do you do? My name is Miles Runyon, and I'm the truant officer for this area. May I come in?" "I don't think that's necessary," Mother says. "Please, ma'am, we've had a complaint. I need to come in and discuss it." Silently, Mother opens the door wider, and the man comes in. I can feel the electricity in the air, sudden and fearful. Truant officer, school, complaint. I think of Patricia's red face, the tears welling up in her eyes, and I know it's all my fault. Mrs. O'Malley has sent the truant officer because I have done those things I ought not to have done, and there is no health in me. Selah. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I hope that you are intrigued by our heroine, Vanessa. And I will see you perhaps later. Goodbye.